President Cyril Ramaphosa is expected to face questions from members of the public in the Western Cape today. He's set to engage with residents in the Cape Winelands District. He'll also engage with community organizations and businesses in a Presidential Imbizo that's taking place. He'll be accompanied by Trade and Industry and Competition Minister Ebrahim Patel. Western Cape Premier Alan Winde will also be there alongside provincial and district leadership. Newzroom Afrika's Athi Mtongana is in the area and she joins us live. Athi, several key issues come up when we think of the winelands, don't they? Tell us what you're expecting the President to hear from locals today.
Well, Michelle, first of all, the Cape Winelands District is made up of several industrial, agricultural and tourism towns like Paarl, where he's going to be. Stellenbosch, Worcester, Robertson, all these areas fall under the Cape Winelands District, and as I've alluded, they are boasting agriculture, they are boasting tourism and the industrial industry. And so he will then obviously be touching issues related to agriculture and farming. So many of the residents here actually work around the farms in the area. He's going to be in Paarl, where we are, at the Dal Josafat Stadium, where he'll be engaging residents from nearby communities, and communities, of course, like Mbekweni. There's a gentleman here from the Mbekweni township from Paarl who's going to be talking to us in terms of what he would want to ask the President for assistance for. But I want to tell you about a project that the Presidency has pointed out to, which is in Fluckland. That's where the President is going to after that engagement at the stadium. So that particular informal settlement is where the government has spent over 200 million to build houses. To date, they say they've built over 400 houses, and they're still anticipating to construct about 323 more houses in that informal settlement. Now, this is the President's 6th Imbizo, because after he announced in the 2022 State of the Nation address, he made a promise that he will engage communities more. And so this is his 6th Presidential Imbizo, which he is hosting, of course, as he points out, in an effort to try and engage with community members on the ground. Now, I spoke about a gentleman from Mbekweni, a community here in Paarl, and he's going to talk to us about his expectations and what are some of the challenges that you face here. Of course, this is an agricultural area, and you're saying that it took you an hour to travel to work at a nearby farm. First of all, tell us your name and, of course, what you're expecting the President today.
Okay. Yeah, my name is Mavuto. Yeah, I'm coming from Mbekweni. Yeah, I faced with another challenge. I come from far and just took almost one and a half hour to be there by my work. So I'm crying about transport. Even if I need the transport now, I'm gonna pay day. I lost almost 60 rand. That was to in and out. So, and also I'm working for the sick man. When I'm working for 200, I don't know where I'm getting 140 per day. So now I'm using my bicycle, and also I'm going to get tired. Yeah. I'm tired. Yeah. I'm tired.
So the way I'm understanding you is that some of the things that are needed then is cheaper public transport for those who are traveling into the outskirts, into these farms which are not easy to access. Transport and jobs, I presume, of course. Yeah,
we are crying for the jobs. Yeah, boss. And also, if I get a transport, or else when I get a room to stay there where I'm working, I think it's fine. Yeah, I think it's fine.
And how are you doing with rent money? Before we went on camera, you were complaining about the fact that you earn 200 a day, and yet you still have to pay rent over 1,000, and you still have a family to support.
Yeah, I have got a family. Now I have got my wife and also my kid. I just left it. I've got my wife and my kids and my family. She look after me. All of them, they look after me. You see. So, and also I need to wear some clothes. And also you see the things now, they are very so expensive. Yeah, that's all.
So it's tough. Thank you so much. I know you have a lot to say, but of course words fail you at this moment. Thank you so much for your time. Well, as I pointed out, Michelle, this gentleman from a community here called Mbekweni, it's one of the communities, of course, that will be part of the people that will be engaging the president. He will be facing questions. They will give them a roving mic to get the residents, such as this one, to ask the president questions. And of course, at the top, I presume, as he's pointed out, the issue of jobs. We know the unemployment rate in South Africa is staggering. And so he will obviously be facing questions of employment, and he will also be facing questions of transport. It's also quite difficult for people around here who come from these informal settlements to be able to travel out into the farms from where they actually work. And some of them, like this gentleman saying to me that he earns about 200 rands a day and he has to support his family. He has to pay rent where he stays. And so projects like the one in Fluckland, which is the one which President Cyril Ramaphosa is going to visit, where they're building houses, are projects that are much needed in this community, where people can actually not rent as backyard dwellers, but actually have their own houses that have been delivered by the government. And so President Ramaphosa, as you've pointed out, will be joined by several ministers, including the Minister of Trade and Industry, Ebrahim Patel, the Premier of the Western Cape, Alan Winde, as well as other leaders from the local municipality here, where they'll also be fielding some of those questions that will be coming from members of the PAL community.
There in the Western Cape. Athi, thanks very much indeed for that update. Of course, a developing story that you can keep track of right here on 405.